by Gorsuch, and it's 1-2. Williamsburg has taken the lead. Here's Gorsuch to Raffner, and it's for 2. Welcome to the Varsity Blue Pirates, Ethan Raffner. Here comes Williamsburg. Gorsuch, Eisenberg to Gorsuch. Gorsuch to Raffner, and it's for 3. That's Raffner's first 3 of his varsity career. Hey, what's up, viewers? Patrick from Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore here, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to another special video. So, today is National Bus Driver Appreciation Day in Penns Valley, so I'll be following that schedule. So, in today's special video, I'll be sharing some memories from our school bus drivers that we have in our district. And if you viewers remembered the videos that I recorded during the halftime of the West Branch games back in January, I will be sharing those as well. And let's get right into it. So today is a very special day, and I know that Bus Driver Appreciation Day is not until April, but last year on February 22nd, I kind of started celebrating National Bus Driver Appreciation Day, and it's a really special day. You get to do some really good things to your bus drivers, to thank them for what they do and show how much of an impact they've had on the students and the parents and the teachers, etc. So in this video, I will be sharing some memories from some of our school bus drivers that I had the past 3 years I went to CTC. And I will tell you this, that these 3 drivers, I'm going to tell you this, all 3 of them are a part of our big team when it comes to sports. These 3 are the people that make all the road games that we have played this year possible. And the first person I'm going to be talking about is somebody that I have remembered from back in 2019. This is where the memory begins. So in 2019, I was a junior high cheerleader, and our junior high girls were in the ICC championship game. If you remember, Kendall Norris, Jayla Woodruff, Jade Carper, Megan Palmer, Ayla Heilman, etc. They were a part of that ICC team in 2019 that won the ICC championship game. And the driver that day was Junior Pheasant, and I'm going to play you some of the escort from that day. let me honestly say that Junior is not really a fun driver, although we had him both times we won the ICC championship for junior high. But I can tell you this, that what Junior has done is greatly appreciated by not just the community, but also by the teachers, the students, and the parents. So that was Junior Pheasant. Now, if you guys remember the West Branch game, when I did this, I was originally going to do Randy Carper, and then skip the JV game and then get to the next person at the varsity game. Well, it turns out that the wrong person showed up. Actually, I thought the Junior had quit or been fired. He was fired from the school board, but I thought, my friend told me that he was fired from driving bus, but it turns out that did not happen, and it was pretty much a misunderstanding. So that's what happened with the junior high halftime. So if you want to see that, here it is. I do want to mention too that as I was preparing for this week's games, I decided that I'm going to just give a little, I don't do this very often on YouTube, but I'm just going to give a little shout out to a new member of our team. So for those that did not know, one of our bus drivers got fired, I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. And I'd like to give a very special shout out to one of the new members of our team. Jill doesn't know who it is, but I know Kendall knows him because he drove our bus for 3 years to and from the CTC when I went to the CTC for service occupations. And I'm not sure if he happens to be in attendance this afternoon, but I just want to give a special shout out to Randy Carper from Huntington for taking over as the team's bus driver for the junior high team now that Junior has been fired. So once again, want to shout out Randy Carper, and as we get ready for this third quarter. So next up on this National Bus Driver Appreciation Day is Randy Carper, and I had him for 3 years as a school bus driver. He was the one that took me to CTC along with my other friends, and he has a really interesting story. So I don't know when he started. That's the hardest question that I've ever tried to answer. But I know that the first time that I had him was in 2020. That was, of course, during the whole COVID pandemic and all the craziness that occurred. But the memory that I'm going to share with you with regards to Randy Carper, I know during the JV halftime, there was a really good story of a lockdown. This was after a lockdown at the CTC. I'm not going to mention it further because the video tells the whole story. But the story that I'm going to share in this particular part of the video, this occurred this year. So I'm out of school. I have graduated. And one person that I have been thinking about is Randy Carper. I have been thinking of him for a very long time. And since I don't go to school anymore since I've graduated, I have been thinking about Randy a lot. And so one interesting thing that I've been doing is I've been talking to Caleb, and we've been talking to each other about Randy and stuff. And the one day it was mentioned that Junior had quit. At least Caleb told me. Caleb Barona was the friend that talked to me about this. Caleb had told me that Junior had quit, and that's where all the misunderstanding occurred with the first halftime of the West Branch game, because I thought Junior had quit and then also got fired from driving bus, but he was only fired from the school board. But anyways, so I'd been thinking about Randy since the last day of school, the last time I saw him, which was the day after we won the, we didn't even win a championship. We beat Blacklick Valley 9-0 in the first round of district playoffs. And one day this year, I had been thinking about it. I've been wanting to take an opportunity to be able to get up early in the morning and walk up to the school and just get to see him again. Well, there was this one day, I cannot remember when. It might have been sometime in January. I believe it was. So I woke up early in the morning. I did my usual stuff. did all my prep and stuff, got dressed, and I waited till about 7:15. I put my shoes on, got my coat on, took my phone with me. I wore my heated coat. It was like 27 degrees that day. I walked out the door, made my way to the school, and normally that bus shows up about I'd say between 7:15 and 7:20, depends on who's driving. Usually it'll be Randy, so back 3 years ago, when I went to CTC, we ran with two buses. Randy would drive the first one, 24, and then Junior would have the second one, 23. But in 2023, Lisa Murgis decided to cut from two buses to one bus because there wasn't many kids that went to CTC. So basically Junior did all the work. But on this particular day, I didn't really know if Randy was going to drive that day, but I knew that since Junior kind of retired or got fired or something like that, I knew that I would kind of have a chance. So I made my way up. I was going towards the intersection where the post office is here in town. And I waited. And all of a sudden, I hear this bus coming. And guess what? It was 24. So I waited. So I waited at that crosswalk, waited for Randy to go by first, and then I waited for some traffic, and then once it was all clear, I walked my way up. And I was kind of being a little sneaky just because, or not, I don't want to say sneaky, but like I was kind of trying to make sure that I didn't really want him to know that I was there. I kind of wanted him to know it was a surprise. So I slowly walked up to the bus, walked alongside slowly, and then I let one kid get on. And then all of a sudden, Carrie Lose, so in case you didn't know, Carrie Lose is the one that gets on the bus and does the attendance. She's the one that has the clipboard and a pen, and she's the one that does the attendance. So then the door opens, and all of a sudden, by absolute surprise, Randy notices me. And he asked me if I was ready to get back to school, and of course, I'm like, no. And but it was a huge surprise. He didn't even see it coming. I knew that someday I wanted to be able to go up to the school and see him again. And that day, that was my biggest opportunity, and I am so glad that I took it. Me, him, and Carrie Lose got to talk to each other for a little bit, and he had mentioned that we kind of saw each other at, I think he said Glendale, but based on memory, I actually saw him at Cambria Heights. He drove the bus that day when we were in the Cambria Heights tournament back in December, and it was a really nice surprise to be able to get to see Randy again, because like I said, I had been thinking about him for an extremely long time, and that's not 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. It was just 1 year, and on that day when it was 27 degrees, I got up, made my move, walked up, and got to see Randy again. So that was a really, really nice memory. That's one of my favorite memories of Randy Carper. Here's another memory that I shared. This was during the West Branch game, and here it is. Back to West Branch. It is Williamsburg 22, West Branch 4. Welcome to the Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore halftime show. Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore is your new home for all things Williamsburg sports. So if you've watched the junior high game, I know that's not uploaded yet. I started to acknowledge all of the big people that have made that make these particular games possible. And I'm talking about our school bus drivers. Without them, I mean, there would never be a game. These girls would be stranded. They would have to walk a whole lot of miles to go to these games that are on the road. So, just want to thank all these bus drivers for making these trips possible. And if you watch the junior high game, we acknowledged Junior Pheasant. This time, I will be acknowledging a very special man, and he was a part of the 3 years that I had went to the CTC, and also Kendall's. I gotta acknowledge that. And now I will tell you that during the varsity halftime, we got one more guy to talk about. Before I talk about this guy further, I do want to also shout out all of the ladies that have helped us out this year, the substitutes, and even if we have substitutes from other schools, as long as we make it to these games, it is possible. And so, for the viewers that want to know who I am talking about, when I said that, so he drove our CTC bus for the 3 years that I went to CTC. If you guys want to know where I went to CTC, or what I went to CTC for, I went for culinary arts. It was culinary arts when I first started, and then service occupations was the 2 years, the very next 2 years that I went to CTC. And I do want.
Yeah, for varsity.
So I want to also shout out Fred, for those that do not know who that is. He was one of our van drivers. When I used to go to Martinsburg before I even started at Williamsburg in 6th grade. So I want to shout Fred out. He does play an important part in being able to have our kids at CTC, and this man also, he also makes sure that our kids make it to CTC on time and makes it back to high school on time. I do want to share some stories also before I mention the person. So one day so the viewers that might have remembered, we had a lockdown last year at the CTC. There was some crazy business happening, and it wasn't just in Pennsylvania, it was all around the United States with lockdowns, and we were in a lockdown at the CTC. Well, we didn't get out of that lockdown until about, I think, 11, and we rode the bus. We rode our usual bus, which we usually ride. We ride 24. That's our main bus to and from CTC. And I remembered when we went back to the high school, I remember one of the kids that was on our bus. Now, funny story about Junior, we were on our way back from CTC, and we found out our guy found out on the radio that Junior left, like, I don't know if it was like 2 or 3 people at the CTC. And of course, I think somebody mentioned on the other bus that they were going to Sheetz for lunch. Well, then when we had that lockdown, Emma Bratton was one of the kids that rode my bus. Actually rode the bus that I was on, me and Kendall. And she asked him. She said, can we stop at Sheetz? Can we stop at Sheetz? And he said one of the funny things he said was there'd be like however many boys and how many girls missing, you know, and all the kids wanted to do was go to Sheetz for lunch, because we were going to be back at the high school very late. We didn't make it back to the high school until I think almost 12. So Larry Carper is the man. So I want to shout out Larry Carper, one of our CTC bus drivers. And anytime that our main guy, that I will tell you during the varsity halftime, when he's not able to do it, Larry Carper's the one that does the job. So shout out to Larry Carper, and thank you for all that you have done for the Lady Pirates this season. Not just the Lady Pirates, but the Blue Pirates. And that is the bus driver for halftime. Stay tuned at halftime of the varsity game because we got a really fun guy that I'll be talking about, and you know his name, and I'll tell you who it is at halftime of the varsity game. But with 3 minutes to go. So I also want to note about Randy Carper. He steps in whenever Jerry Palmer is not able to drive. So want to shout Randy Carper. Thank you for what he does. What you do is greatly appreciated, not just by me, but by the community, the parents, the students, the fans, and the whole school. So that's Randy Carper for you. And now, the moment that you viewers have been waiting for. One of our, and I also got to mention this too before I get to our favorite bus driver. Randy is a really good bus driver. I can tell you that. I always will hear him like talking to Miss Lose or Miss Strayer in the mornings, you know, while they're both doing the attendance. And I can tell you Randy is definitely a fun bus driver to have. All right, with that out of the way. And now, the moment you viewers have been waiting for. One of our favorite bus drivers. You viewers know him. JP Jerry Palmer. This is the moment. So, Jerry Palmer is one of the funnest bus drivers I have ever had, and I can definitely attest to that because of going to playoffs last year, especially ICC and district. And Jerry's definitely fun to have. You know, he's got that good sense of humor, and he's always, you know, I remember the first day of the ICCs, we were traveling to Claysburg to take on Northern Bedford. And I remembered that Jerry had mentioned that he knew my dad, which was interesting because he actually knows a lot of my family members. He knows my dad. He knows my one aunt. So that was really cool to know that he knew some of my family members. And he was definitely a lot of fun. One of my favorite memories of Jerry Palmer, I want to say, I don't remember if I'm going to mention, if I say the same one that's in the West Branch halftime, I do want to apologize in advance. But I want to say my favorite memory with Jerry Palmer, first year, I would honestly have to say that my favorite one is probably the escorts that we took when we won our District 6 and ICC. If you want to know which specific one I would say is the most, would be my favorite, I would have to say the ICC escort because it was on his birthday and I got to document it. It was a whole lot of fun getting to get on a bus and as a cheerleader getting to document his very first escort, and especially on his birthday. And if you viewers remembered that I thought about I don't know how many days before, I thought I got in trouble because of recording that escort because one of my friends told me that Jerry apparently didn't like being on tape or didn't like being on Facebook. And then that same day when we were traveling to Huntington for the first round of district playoffs, he thanked me for it. So that was a really cool moment. But yeah, my favorite Jerry Palmer moment has to be the ICC escort on his birthday. The video was a whole lot of fun to film, and everybody was just having a whole lot of fun. So that was really cool. So here is the varsity halftime where I talk about Jerry Palmer. Welcome back to West Branch. It is Lady Pirates 26, West Branch 12. Welcome to the Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore halftime show. Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore is your new home for all things Williamsburg sports. So if you've been watching these last two games, even though they're not up on YouTube just yet, I have been acknowledging our school bus drivers that we have in our district, and let me recap who I've acknowledged so far. So during the junior high game, I've acknowledged Junior Pheasant. He was here earlier. I acknowledged Larry Carper during the JV game. He's in attendance this evening. So I'm going to be talking about somebody that is not in attendance this evening, and you viewers have been waiting for this moment, and it has finally come. So this man started a year ago, and he's been one of the funnest bus drivers I think we've ever had in this whole district, and I've enjoyed having him as our team bus driver and also the varsity baseball head coach. Although during the long break before the game, we only have 4 kids for varsity baseball, so we might not have a varsity team, but I think we should still have a junior high team. So if I don't do varsity, I can still do junior high this year. So at least I'll have some baseball to do, even though I might not see Rowan play his final season. But anyways, so the man that I've described, let me share a story. So last year, this was his first year driving the bus, and we're going to go to the ICC Championship game. I think we played Southern Huntington last year. It was the varsity girls. I was still a cheerleader, and we went on to win the ICC Championship. That was the 3rd one that we won in back-to-back years. And we were making our way to the USL Tub Tavern, and so the guy that I'm about to tell you, funny enough, he actually let us know that tomorrow, which was the 19th, would be his birthday. So Saturday after the game, this was February 19th, we got to go to USL Tub Tavern. We not only got to celebrate the ICC Championship, but we also got to celebrate a very special birthday. And the man that I'm telling you about right now, even though he's not in attendance this evening, he is very much respected by this district. I am talking about the legendary driver, Jerry Palmer. So I want to shout him out this evening. He has been a fun person to have as the varsity baseball head coach and also as the team's bus driver whenever we went to playoffs last year for varsity when I was a cheerleader. And I don't know what Jerry will be doing come baseball season, but I'm definitely excited to see what baseball will have in store this season. And once again, want to shout out Jerry Palmer. He's not in attendance this evening, but want to shout him out and thank him for all that he has done, and look forward to seeing what he is able to do in the near future. So 5 minutes to go at halftime. So the bus driver of halftime is Jerry Palmer for varsity. So Williamsburg is... I can tell you, viewers, that Jerry is a whole lot of fun as a bus driver. All the memories I got to make with him last year during basketball season, and all the memories that we hopefully can make this year during baseball season. Stay tuned. If we happen to make playoffs, there's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell you what it is because Jerry basically put it in the works. But I will tell you, viewers, that since I have my clearances all figured out, there's going to be a kind of a surprise if we win districts. So stay tuned for that. So Jerry's a lot of fun as a bus driver. I just can't say that enough. He's so much fun. And I thank the Lord that he is one of our bus drivers and that he's a good one to have. So just want to say, if Jerry happens to be watching this, thanks for all you do as a bus driver. You are great. You're greatly appreciated, not just by me, but also by the students, the teachers, the coaches, and the parents. And can't wait to see what memories we will get to make together in the future. So that will do it for this National Bus Driver Appreciation Day special video. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Like to shout out Junior Pheasant, Randy Carper, and Jerry Palmer. And thank you for watching. If you like these kinds of videos, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video is up on the channel. And if you know of anybody that's a Pirate fan, be sure you share these videos. And that will do it. Thank you for watching. And until the next video, this is Patrick from Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore, signing off.